Hi children, welcome back. This is Vijaya here. Shall we continue? So which lesson have we started in the last two modules? It was all about Albert Einstein. So what was the name given for the lesson, children? It was A Truly Beautiful Mind. So we are going to look into this aspect of the beautiful mind of Albert Einstein, but not as a scientist. We are going to see him in this lesson. This is what we have learnt about. So before we carry on, let's have a quick recap, children. So when he was 2.5 years old, he started speaking as he had a problem, and he used to utter every word twice. This is what we learned. And also his mom used to call him as a what? A freak, in the sense like unlike all other boys, no, he's different, he's odd one out. And also she described him having a big, large mind, means many questions, many thoughts in his mind. Then looking at his disability of speaking, his own like friends and playmates and all in and around of his house, they used to tease him, bully him, calling him what? Brother boring. So they used to find him boring because he could not speak flawless, as he used to utter every word twice. Then what happened? He felt very sorry for this status. Then he thought, fine, let him not play anymore with his playmates, and he decided to play himself. Then he was very fond of playing with what, children? It was of mechanical toys. And one funny thing, when the first time he could see his newborn sister, her name was Maza, as soon as he looked at her, he was wanting to see where are her wheels, because he thought and he took her also as a mechanical toy, which should usually have wheels, because mechanical, whenever we hear the word some mechanical, the word no wheel is something which comes to our mind for the first time. So that's how he got. Then when he was at 6 years old, then he was asked to learn violin because it was his mom's want. Then he started learning what? Violin. Then he continued as an amateur, in the sense somehow according to his own will and wish he used to just play violin, though he wasn't perfect. As he was not that good in the very primary schooling, then his headmaster called him saying that he can never be successful in his life. So whatever the stream he selects also, we need not worry. Don't worry about his career, because he can't do anything. He can never be successful. So he declared him, calling him as unsuccessful person. So proving his statement wrong. Proving whose statement, children? Proving Albert Einstein's headmaster's statement wrong. What did he do? He proved in high school, securing very good marks in all the subjects moreover. And especially he had a lot of interest towards the combination of mathematics and physics. Then he decided to pursue his education in Switzerland. The first reason was to see that the people in Switzerland also speak German. When he could come to know that yes, people in Switzerland, they speak German, then he was wanted to just go there to pursue his education. Another reason was that particular city was far better than the city where he was residing before, on the basis of the liberty and freedom. It was much more liberal. Because we have already learned that Einstein was such a person who was wanting a lot of liberty and freedom, who was not at all wanting to work under somebody. Because when he was in high school, he did not like the rules and regulations of the school, where he called it as a regimentation. You all remember, children? Then always he used to have arguments with his teachers, and he finally had to come out of the school. You all remember that? Then his attitude, his mentality says that he was wanting a lot of freedom and liberty, so that he can really, do whatever he can do it according to his will and wish to be successful in his life. Therein he has joined the university in Switzerland, and then he could find one of his great friends, that was fellow student who was from Serbia. Then he thought, fine, she is going to be a good companion throughout the life, who was very much fond of literature, music and art, whereas Albert Einstein's interests were only towards mathematics and physics and other inventions. Then therein he decided that he can just prolong the relationship of being the friendship into marital relationship as well. Then he decided that it would be better if we can marry that said girl. And then he also just adds on humorously a statement saying that if at all he gets married to her, it would be a wonderful blend having literature, music, art along with mathematics and physics, like nothing but this theory of relativity, which will leave with the conclusion. He just introduced that he had a thought in his mind that particular day itself that he would like to work on theory of relativity. Am I right? Till here we have completed, I think, children. So now quickly you all open your textbooks. So the lesson is all about a truly beautiful mind, which is all about Albert Einstein, and he was nothing but a synonym of genius. You all remember that, right? Very good. So now let's get into the book and get ready with the running notes also, children. And paragraph 8, page number 48 now. In 1900, at the age of 21, Albert Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. So as we have already learned that he has joined the university in New Zealand to pursue his education, and the same way in 1900, at the age of 21 years, he has secured the graduation degree in his hands. He has become the graduate. But he was unemployed. Immediately he could not get any of the jobs. Then he worked as a teaching assistant, gave a private lesson to somebody, and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert. So see, children, he was not sitting simply ideally like at home, Therein he went on searching the jobs and all. No, he never wanted to be simply sitting at home having no work. Then what did he do? Meanwhile, he could really be engaged with a good job. What did he do? He worked as a teaching assistant, like a assistant teacher. Then also private tuitions, we usually call it private tuitions, and home tuitions, like where you find the tutors coming to home and teaching the students also. These days there are many, right, children? So similarly, he engaged himself very healthily, giving his services, offering his services, rendering his services as what? Teaching assistant, and also offering the private tuitions and also home tuitions. Then finally, in which year he got the job, children? 1902. In 1902, he got the job as what? Technical expert in a patent office in Bern. B-E-R-N. Bern is a place. It's another city in Switzerland where he got the job in a patent office. Patent is nothing but right, children. It's right. Whatever you do it or whatever you write it, it belongs to you. So then it is called patent. So nobody else can claim that it is mine. For example, as soon as you buy a new pencil box, for example, which is really fancy and crazy, it has crazy look, then immediately you write your short form at least on that. So that no, you will not give a chance for somebody else to claim that it belongs to others, because already you have patent on it. Its patent is nothing but having right of ownership, possessing something strongly. So such kind of a company he was working as what? Technical expert. While he was supposed to be assessing other people's invention, so what was his job as technical expert? He used to assess, he used to rate, he used to evaluate, and he used to observe other people's inventions working as a technical expert there. That was his nature of work. That was his work, what he had to do it. But what did Einstein do? Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. So not only he was rendering his duty, rendering his service of assessing others' invention, but also he maintained his own secrecy where he had his own ideas to develop his own theories based on many other ideas. Then he is said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at the workplace as Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Then like in a joke, like humorously he used to call the desk, the place where he sits and works, that particular place, he called it as what, children? Please do underline this, Bureau of Theoretical Physics, because working as what? Technical expert, what was his nature of work? He had to observe and he had to assess the other people's inventions. When other people, there are many people working and doing many inventions there. So his job is to assess their work. So he used to do that. He never ignored that. But also he continued his interest in developing his own ideas. So that's the reason he called the particular desk as what? Bureau of Theoretical Physics. You will definitely see this question based on extract or else a short question also. Why did he call his desk as Bureau of Theoretical Physics? Because as he was working as a technical expert, he also continued developing his own ideas, sitting at his workplace. That's the reason his desk is called what, children? Bureau of Theoretical Physics. You can just respond this way. Next paragraph. One of the famous papers in 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity. So therein, he has joined in the job in the year 1902. It is 1902. He joined in his job in 1902. And within span of time of 3 years, very short span of time, children, here, within the short span of time of 3 years, it is 1905, that is 1905, was Einstein's special theory of relativity is introduced. So he has come up with his own idea, because we have already learned that when he was working as a technical expert in a patent company, he also started developing his own ideas. So his idea was to develop a theory based on relativity. So therein in 1905 he has come up with the theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. Children, you all might have already learned this in your physics. So anyhow, it is a physics and science related subject. We don't go much into the depth also. But fine, it states that time and distance are not absolute. They are not accurate. Indeed, so he is explaining further. Please listen carefully, children. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey, if one of them has been moving very fast relative to the other. So of course, this you can practically see at home, children, having two clocks with you, and arrange them, and you please see their movement after finishing one particular a span of journey, the movement of each one of the needles of the clock. Then therein the difference starts in the time. This is what is the theory of relativity, which he had already proved. So you all can also try this at home. So from this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. There in the equation, m is equal to c square is introduced to show the relationship, the relativity, the relation between mass and energy, and also it is said to be so that mass and energy can interchange their places also. And then humorously he tried to even explain what is theory of relativity to let you all understand. For example, if the video class is fixed for about 20 minutes, let's say if the video class is fixed for 20 minutes of time, and you are stably, constantly sitting in front of your device, whereas you are going on watching me like giving lecture, blah 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 blah, you are just going on watching it and taking down the notes. Then at one particular point of time you feel that, oh my god, you look at your watch, oh still I have 5 more minutes of time, period. Then you will definitely notice the time moving, because it is a subject and you are asked to be seated there, you are compelled. For example, let us say it is a 20 minutes video of your favorite cartoon, or else your favorite actor's cinema action scene of 20 minutes, and you are sitting taking popcorn in your hand and just relaxing in your sofa or a cozy bed and watching. Will you notice the time, children? As soon as the scene is finished, you will just, did I sit here for 20 minutes of time? Oh come on, I thought it's only 5 minutes of time I was here. So see, it was the same 20 minutes time which is fixed for the video lesson and also your cartoon or the cinema scene. But whereas you could notice the time when it was a serious or a formal work. So it is all nothing but your interest. So to let the layman also easily understand the theory of relativity, he said that they are not absolute. So it all depends on the one who takes it. Is everybody clear, children? And further about theory of relativity, you better, and I definitely advise you and suggest you to please discuss with your physics teachers. So let's continue now. While Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was unraveling. Albert had wanted to marry Mileva right after finishing his studies, but his mother was against it. So when he was working, and when he also had done a lot of development introducing the theory of relativity and all, then already we have learned that he decided to marry Mileva Maric, who is a Serbian girl. Then the relation was been prolonged as he was completely busy doing his work and also solving many difficult problems of physics, and moreover another problem was from his mother's side. So she said she wasn't willing to let Einstein marry Mileva. So that's the reason, like the word is used, unraveling. Unraveling is nothing but starting to fall, in the sense that it was a moment of breakup between Einstein and Mileva. Then what did he do? We'll see. Then Einstein's mother said that she thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, was too old for him. She was also bothered by Mileva's intelligence. She is a book like you. His mother said Einstein put the wedding off. So see children, her objections. So they may ask you tomorrow in the question that what were the objections of Einstein's mother to let him not marry Mileva Maric. First thing she said that she is older. She is, how old was she? She was 3 years older than her son. So she was 3 years older than Einstein. One reason. Another reason, she said that I'm very much bothered about her intelligence. Even she is too intelligent like you. And I can call her as a book. Book in the sense like an encyclopedia maybe. Even she is also equally intelligent as our Einstein. So this is what is been said by Einstein's mother as part of her objections to not to let him marry Mileva. So Einstein put the wedding off. Then what did he do? Then he has a son, he had to agree and he had to accept his mother's words, and he put aside his marital proposal. He put it off for some time. So let's continue the rest of the thing in the next session, children. 10th paragraph we have completed. So next session we shall go ahead with 11th. So in this particular today's session we have learnt about his lateral stages of his education. When he had completed his graduation in Switzerland and he got the degree, he got his graduation certificate also, then what did he do? He could not get the job. Then what did he do? He worked as a teaching assistant. Then he offered private tuitions and also home tuitions he has offered. Then after that he got a job in 1903. As what? As a technical expert. Where did he get the job, children? He got the job in a patent office in Bern. In 1902, he got the job as a technical expert. Then did he do his work very formally, as casual as all other people do it? No. He did render his duty very properly, along with which he continued to develop his ideas into theory. Therein he has come up with theory of relativity in 1905, which was nothing to let us all know about time and distance are not absolute. This is what he had done it. So as he was making himself being busy solving many of the problems of physics, what did he do? He put aside his marital proposal because he had an objection from his mother saying that even Mileva also as intelligent as Einstein, and also she called her as what, children? She called her as a book. So she's like a book, so better not to marry her. And another big objection was she's 3 years older than Einstein. Then she said, oh, come on, she's older than you, better not to go ahead with. So by listening to all these things for a short span of time, then he thought of putting that proposal off for some time. That's how he put it aside. So let's see whether he could get married or not. What happens in his personal life further? Let's see in the next session, children. Hope all of you have understood. So as I shall be serving you the worksheets, please do attempt all. And if time permits, go ahead with the rest of the lessons reading as well. So this is Vijaya signing off. Goodbye, children.